Welcome to End All That Jazz with Dana. I'm your host, Dana, and I am here with Jessie Woo. She is the First Lady of Haitian Culture on Instagram. She is. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you
for sitting with me.
Thanks.
I want to know how you got your start in entertainment.
Well, how did I get my start in entertainment? Well, I'm originally from Miami, and you know this, I've told you this. I'm originally from Miami, and in Miami, I started off singing. I would sing at school, I would sing at talent shows, I would sing in bathrooms, restaurants, wherever I could sing, wherever somebody would listen. And eventually that turned into me singing in studios, and I would work at the Hit Factory, I would work at Circle House, which were they're two very popular studios in Miami. So I work with a lot of Miami artists, and I even have had two or three songs on the radio in Miami. So I feel like that was kind of my start. But as time went by, it just wasn't going the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't understand how hard it is to make it in the music industry. You know what I mean? Like, people think just because you can sing, you should automatically be like a big star already, and it doesn't always, work out that way.
Yeah.
So as time went by, it just really wasn't going the way I planned, and 2015, I want to say fall 2015, I got a random call to go audition for Wild 'N Out. And so I went to audition for Wild 'N Out, and when I auditioned, I told jokes. So, because I wanted to have a speaking role. I wanted to say a couple jokes. I wanted to play the games that they play.
Yeah.
And I made Nick Cannon laugh, and I was like, oh my gosh, he laughed. I felt so good about it. But then a couple weeks went by, I didn't hear anything, and then I got a call saying, hey, we want you to be a Wild 'N Out girl. And it wasn't really what I wanted, but I was like, I'll take it. And I did that. And so I feel like that was the start of me being really serious about just serious about seeing what else I could do in entertainment. Mm-hmm. I was on season 8. I was a Wild 'N Out girl. I was in 4 or 5 episodes, I want to say. Okay. And after I did Wild 'N Out, it was filmed in LA. I went back to Miami. I was like, man, I really don't want to be here anymore. But I didn't know if I wanted to come to New York or LA. So for a couple months, I just kept going back and forth. And then I want to say summer of last year, 2016, I graduated school, and I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going to New York. And so that's how I got here. And I got here, and it's been rough. It hasn't been a Cinderella story.
That's New York for you.
Yeah, New York is definitely a whole other world. But I want to say, as stressful as it has been for me, these videos are how that was born. It was born out of stress, out of me trying to find an outlet while I was figuring out what the hell I want to do.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is another start for me. I feel like there hasn't been just one start. There's been several starts, because I'm just figuring that, wow, I don't just have one side to me. I can do numerous things.
Yeah.
And I have numerous gifts. And so one of these gifts gonna make me a star. So I guess that would be my starts in the entertainment field realm.
So you would say that your, I guess, job title is a social media influencer?
I think so. Some people like to say I'm a social media comedian, and I don't really want to say I'm a comedian, because I feel like that word is such a strong word, and we throw that word around a lot now, because because I can tell a couple jokes on social media doesn't mean that I can stand on a stage and do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, I want to stick to saying that I'm a social media artist. Mm-hmm. So
I can entertainer all around.
I can, tell a couple jokes. I can sing. I can act. I can do promo. You know what I mean? I can host. I can do different things, and I just don't want to be boxed into one thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for someone trying to get into the field that you're in, what do you think that they would have to do? They have to be true to themselves.
Mm-hmm. I think first things first is start. You know, like, I started putting up these videos back in May, but that wasn't the first time that I was trying to do this. You know, I want to say like 2 years ago, I was posting videos like on Facebook, and I would get like people who knew me would say, "Why the hell are you posting these videos all the time? Like, why are you doing this?" Like, yeah. Wow. And so I stopped. And then, like I said, moving up here, I feel like moving to New York just gave me, I've always been a tough, independent girl, but moving to New York definitely gave me that Missy Elliott, she's a bitch type. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just have more confidence now because I've been through the ringer, and I know what it's like to just be out here making it on your own, by yourself. You don't owe nobody anything. You know, you're just living, you're doing what you have to do to survive. And so I just started posting these videos. I just started. And I feel like if you're somebody who wants to do this, start. You know, don't post up foolishness, of course, but you know, what is it that you like to do? There's so many different people, so many different social media influencers, whether it's beauty, whether it's comedy, whether it's skits, whatever it is, like politics. So many people are making names for themselves through social media, but they wouldn't be where they are if they didn't start.
What did you go to school for?
I went to school for mass communications. I went to school for mass communications. I majored in that, and then like I just felt like I didn't really have the confidence to like be on camera like that. I know. So I know.
But you are every
I
day
know.
now.
But it's like back then I was like, and I would get comments about the way I look and stuff, and so I feel like back then I was just very impressionable, and that kind of like messed with the way I saw myself. So I was like, ugh. I switched my major to political science. I was like, you know what, I'll just go to law school. I'll just do like entertainment law or something like that. And as I was doing that, I was like, man, I don't want to be no damn lawyer. So then I was like, I'm going to go back to school. Okay. And then I got a master's in mass communications. And then when I did that, I graduated last year, and then I came here.
Okay. So you kind of, I mean, I feel like the major of communications, you can kind of do anything.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it doesn't have to be television per se. You know, when I was getting my master's degree, we learned a lot about corporate communications, you know, everyday communications that businesses have to handle in order to tell you, a consumer, what they want you to believe about what they're selling you or what they can provide for you. You know what I mean? You know, communications within the company, what your bosses want you to think, what values they want you to have to work where they work, you know. So it's definitely so many different sides to communications, whether you're in front of the camera, behind the camera, or just in an office setting. So it was good learning
that got you kind of to this point.
Of course. I feel like I'm definitely a good communicator, and I'm good at telling people what I want. I'm good at being myself and conveying to you what I want you to think. I know how to present things a certain way. You know what I mean? Whether I want to be assertive, whether I want to play the victim, like I know how to do it. And I feel like that's communications mixed with a little, you know, myself, you know what I mean? Then a couple of theater classes I've taken.
Yes.
Like it's just all that, I just know how to pull people in a little bit. And so I think it was really good to major in that. Really good.
So what challenges do you feel like you've faced, you know, being in the public eye now?
I don't feel like I'm in the public eye yet.
You are.
Well, people do recognize me a lot now, and it's kind of weird because it's like, I don't feel like you should recognize me yet. Because like sometimes I want to tell people, I just started this. Like, don't come up to me. Don't ask me for pictures. Don't ask me for none of that. Like, I'm not there yet. Like, I feel like people just have not given me a chance to really just like.
Well, when you're as good as you are, that's what happens.
I understand.
It's only been 4 months to you.
It's only been 4 months.
But to me, when I look at your Instagram, I'm just like, oh wow, like you have a bunch of
all
material.
I have put a lot of myself out there, and there's been times when I'm like, I've thought twice. Like I'm like, is this too much? Is this, because honestly, most of the stuff I put out is stuff that I've experienced. It's stuff that, you know, I've seen my friends go through. Like, a lot of the stuff is really personal, and I'm kind of like making fun of my life. And so people, when they watch these videos and they leave me comments like, yo, how do you know my life? And I'm like, I'm talking about my life right now. Like, so
I think that's what makes people connect. Because you're so real and you're so open about what you've been through. It's so easy for them to be like, oh, wow.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get it. And so, but even then, it's like, I feel like I just started and I'm not like where I want to be yet. And so, like, even today, like, this girl, I was walking down the street, and this girl came up to me. She's like, I love you so much. And I'm like, and she's like, can we take a picture? I'm like, sure, of course. But it's like, I just don't know how to respond to that yet, and not make people. A little bit. I don't know if it's overwhelming. It's just weird, because it's like, I'm not like Beyonce. Like, I'm not there yet. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I just started. Like, give me like another 4 months maybe. But people like, girl, we don't care, girl. We still Jessie.
New York, we're so. What's the word? I guess I don't want to say
New York,
fast, but
like, New York will gravitate to something, and like when they gravitate towards you, that's it. You can't really shake it off. And that's one thing I realized with my following, because I'm from Miami, and you know, I've been here a year. But when I started this 4 months ago, and I would look at my breakdown of where my following was, most of it was in New York, and I was like, whoa, because I don't know anybody here. Like, I'm trying to get to know people.
But your personality is very New York.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess so, because I'm like, wow, most of my following is in New York. And so it's like, when I walk down the street, especially like in my neighborhood, I walk down the street, it's like, everybody's like, yo, Jess, like, Jessie, you know, and it's just, it's great. It's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, as weird as it is for me, it really is awesome to know that people that I probably will never meet, people that don't know me, are so invested in what I'm doing that they would take the time out of their day to comment, or, you know, to follow me, to message me. I mean, sometimes I read my comments and, like, I cry sometimes. I'm like, what the hell? Like, these people, like,
because they're inspired.
Yeah, they really like what I'm doing. Okay, like, this is like, okay, this is, you know, I'm digging this, you know. So, I mean, like I said, it's taken a minute for me to get used to that. And, you know, as other doors start to open for me, I know it's going to be more than that. Like, I really have no choice but to get used to that. But it's just, I'm just Jessica. Like, you know, sometimes when I don't have my phone, when I'm not logged in, I'm not looking at my phone, I forget that I'm Jessie Woo. You know, I forget that, like, people will come up to me sometimes like, Jessie Woo, and I'm like,
oh, okay.
Right, and like, oh, yes, yeah. You know, so it's just gonna take a little minute to get used to. Yeah.
As far as marketing goes, do you feel like you market yourself yet?
Am I marketable? Do I do a good job of presenting myself in a marketable way? Yes. I feel like I can appeal to somebody who just wants to hear jokes. I feel like I can appeal to girls who want to see makeup.
Yeah,
I feel like I can appeal to girls who want to talk about hair, even guys who want to know what hair they should buy their girl, what makeup they should buy their girl. Like, dudes really be leaving me comments like, oh, that's a highlighter? Like, when that video about the Fenty, I was like, okay, so that's highlight. Yeah. That's highlight. Oh, okay, that's what that, okay, cool, I'm finna get my girl that Fenty. Like, I feel like I can appeal to so many different people. And then when I sing, I feel like I can appeal to everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody likes music. You know, kids come to my page and they've heard me sing, "Do You Want to Build a Snowman?" And I'm like, oh my God. Like, so I feel like I do have a good way of making myself marketable, being able to be well-versed. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have a huge presence online. When it comes to, for instance, like the happenings in Texas, in Puerto Rico, in Mexico, do you feel that you have a responsibility to, I guess, kind of make it known to your followers because they may be affected by these things?
Of course. You know, if you go to my page, I think one thing that makes me just different from a lot of my counterparts is that they just stick to that. They stick to the jokes, you know what I mean? And the thing is, I understand why a lot of people do, because your views are not always going to be agreed with.
Yeah.
And when you put your views out there, you know, you run the risk of people being like, you know what, nah, I don't agree with her political views, so I'm going to unfollow her. But one thing about me is I don't give a fuck. Like, I truly don't care. I'm going to say what I want on my page. I'm going to tell you how I feel about the presidency. I'm going to tell you about this hurricane and what I'm doing for it. You know, I had a Houston drive last week, Wednesday, which went really, really well. And, you know, I posted several times about it on my page, asking people to come donate. I've done a school drive a month ago, you know, and I'm going to keep doing these things because at the end of the day, jokes is great. But one thing I definitely want to always do, and I want people to know that I do, is that I definitely care about my community, especially my Caribbean folks, my Haitian folks. Like, I definitely care about those people. And, you know, with the Houston Drive, we sent everything to Haitians United, which is a Haitian organization in Houston that's there and that will distribute everything around Houston that we sent. You know what I mean? So I think that we do have to speak out more about that stuff because, believe it or not, a lot of people now, they watch Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, Instagram is TV.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, social media is television now. To be honest, like, I don't watch TV like that anymore. You know, I watch Netflix on my iPad on the go, you know what I mean? But most of my time now, because I'm doing these videos and because I'm watching, you know, how I'm doing online and you know, I have things that I want to do going forward. I have to be it's like my business now. This is like, this is my brand, this is my business now. And so I know that people are on their phones all the time. 24/7. And so sometimes the only news someone will get is you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes people my little brother didn't even know Hurricane Irma was coming. Wow. Till I told him. And he's in Miami, okay? Like, literally, he doesn't care. He's just whatever. And so sometimes, you know, you're the only news somebody will hear. And sometimes you're the only good news. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's very imperative that people like myself and other social media influencers definitely use our platforms to talk about what's going on in the world, whether it be a joke, you know, like I had a prayer video where I was praying for Hurricane Irma and I was praying that it would go to the White House instead, you know what I mean? And it's like, that was my way of talking about the hurricane, but also, you know, in the prayer I was talking about Donald Trump and how he was, you know, saying he wants to send all these immigrants back to where they came from. I'm an immigrant. Yeah. I'm the child of 2 immigrants. You know what I'm saying? So I'm alive at a time where I can speak out about things that truly affect who I am. I wouldn't be in America had it not been for my parents, you know what I mean, who left where they came from. You know what I mean? So things like that, I'm always going to speak out about. Always. I don't care what anybody thinks about it, and I feel like that's what makes me more relatable to people who follow me, especially when it comes to like the Caribbean influencers and stuff, because a lot of them just stay away from that. I'm not. You're gonna get all of me. You're gonna get the jokes, the makeup, the hair, the politics, the everything. You're gonna get it all. That's Jessie. That's Jessie. That's Jessie.
When it comes to how has this affected your personal life, if it has at all?
You know, honestly, I feel that it's definitely affected my personal life. Well, I want to say it affects my family life more than my personal life, maybe. Like, my personal life is very just private. I'm really a loner. Like, as much as I love people,
I get that vibe.
I'm a loner. I'm a big-time loner. And sometimes people just don't understand that. And like, today was a reminder of that for me. Like, I was at, you know, an event all day, and people kept asking me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And it's like, you've seen me, like, we could be at the studio and I could be quiet for a long time, or I could just fall asleep. Like, I'm just a loner, and I don't know. I've just always been that way. Mm-hmm. So, you know, in my personal life, I really don't have to be around people all the time. I can go days, you know, if I don't have to go to work or if I don't have to you know, go to events. I can go days without talking to anybody. You know what I mean? And it won't bother me. But then I feel like it has affected my family life, because family definitely, they are like, why is everybody like sweating Jessica like this? Like, this is just Jessica. What the hell is wrong with everybody? Like, you know, like I was at my aunt's party 2 weeks ago, and like I was telling you earlier, like my family, my cousins were like, they had friends there, and they're like, oh my God, you guys know her? They're like, that's my cousin. She's nobody. like, you know? And so for them, it's like weird, because people really, they see that people really are like, yo, that's Jessie. And yo, I'll tell you a funny story. Like 3 weeks ago, my mom called me, and she was like, Jessica, oh my God, I was at a funeral, mes amis. I was at a funeral, and after the funeral, they were serving food. The line was so long. But the people, they say they see my picture on your Instagram. They tell me, you are the mother of Jessie Woo. You can skip the line. Yo, when she called me saying that, she was like, Jessica, mes amis, you have to understand. They give me three plate. Yo, my mom, I was like, Mom. Yo. I was dying laughing. Like, my mom was like, Jess, I can't believe it. People really know who you are. And then here she go. So, can you not put my picture online anymore? Because, you know, now I feel like my life is not private.
I mean,
I'm like, Mom.
Does she have social media?
No. And of course, I put another picture up of her. So, girl, if I gotta go through, okay. Listen, if I gotta go through this, you gotta go through this too, Mama. Sorry, but
so it kind of affects your family more, because they're realizing, wow, okay.
Yeah, but with them too, like my littlest brother, my youngest brother, he's very quiet. Like he doesn't really tell you how he's feeling a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And like a couple weeks ago, he called me. He was like, Jess, you know, like I don't understand. Like people are finally seeing you for like what we always saw you. We always saw you like that. And like it made me cry. I'm like gonna cry thinking about it now, but like it just made me cry. I was like, I could tell like he felt so good about it, and it made me feel good. Like, I guess they are, you know, because to them I've always been this person. It's just sometimes it just takes a while for other people to see that.
Yeah, because everyone else is getting to know.
Yeah.
You know?
So
and all these different layers.
Yeah. And so I mean, I think it's definitely affected my family life more than my personal life, and it's definitely gonna affect my professional life, of course. Like. You know, social media is such a great tool to put yourself out there, which is what I wanted to do. When I started making my videos 4 months ago, if you would have told me in 4 months I'd have 52,000 followers on Instagram, 43,000 on Facebook, like I didn't think it would be that fast. Like I thought like I'd be like 10,000 by now. I didn't think it would be that. And so with that comes people asking you to do certain things, and it's like you can make money off of it. And so, you know, it's definitely affecting my professional life too, which is good. But now I have to figure out how to navigate that as well, you know, how to be professional, what to do, what not to do, who to collaborate with that's gonna, you know, expand my reach versus who not to collaborate with. Because I've had people ask me to collaborate, and I'm like,
their brand is totally...
I cannot. You know what I mean? I cannot. Like, you on your page talking about, you know, I can't. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've said things that are risky on my page, but I feel like I present it in a way that's still yeah. But you over there, you pussy popping. I can't, girl. So, so yeah, it definitely is affecting my life outside of social media in a good way. I have been going to Viacom a couple times for meetings, and they would say, oh, well, you need to get your numbers up, you know, you don't really have that many followers, and then they would suggest people for me to be like, you know, and I would see like the girls that they would suggest, and I'd be like, you know, they'd be on there with their titties out, you know what I mean, and it's like, and I remember talking to Jordan, a mutual friend of ours, and Jordan was like, Jessica, just be you, he's like, you have so many talents, and there was a conversation where we had that. He made me so mad. He was like, you know what your problem is? You're too idle. You're idle with your time. You know, you don't know what to do with your time, so you do nothing. And I was like, who are you talking to. I'ma show you how idle I am with my time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started making the videos. You know, I was asking like, Jordan, what do you think? What should I do?
Yeah.
And he told me that. And then so as I started making the videos, he was like, all right, so now I want you to use this software that's gonna tell you when to post. And he was like, and I want you to take different angles of yourself. You know what I mean? Like take the camera out, show more of your body. Not in a nasty way, but you know, show yourself walking around. Show yourself moving your body, like making gestures. You know what I mean? And I was like,
be more animated.
right. And it's like, I was like, things that I really wasn't thinking. He was telling me because, you know, Jordan has that eye. Jordan is, he's a producer. He's been behind the camera. So he had an eye for that stuff. And so I feel like Jordan's advice was the best advice because he kind of made me think about the viewer when somebody's watching you, what they want, what they're seeing, and what they would like to see. You know what I mean? Like people like to see people moving around. You know what I mean? So his advice was definitely the best advice. And I've had a lot of different people tell me, several people tell me certain things, but I feel like Jordan's advice was very important to how I approached doing my videos because he gave me that viewer's eye perspective.
What's a normal day in the life for Jessie Woo?
You know, right now I've just been auditioning a lot, going to meetings a lot. Like I have a lot of things that are coming up this fall, and I feel like it's, like I said again, I felt like these are things I thought would come later on, but it's coming quickly, and I feel like, you know what, maybe it's not coming quickly because it's not like I just started trying to be an entertainer.
You just tried a different avenue.
Right, I just tried a different avenue and it just clicked. And so right now I've just been doing a lot of meetings. I've been just working really for myself, really. Like this summer, I just hustled so much, like putting up these videos, going to meetings, going to Viacom, going to MTV, going to BET, like trying to see what I can do. Like that's really been my life, just hustling, meetings after meetings. You know, can you put me in this? What can I do here? Like just putting yourself out there and being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So that's really been the day in the life for me. And I feel like, you know, in the coming weeks, that's gonna change drastically. Prayerfully. And I won't have to, I mean, I'll still be doing meetings. Now I'm still going to audition. I'm still going to do all those things. But I feel like I have a couple things that I might land. I have a really good feeling about. So that will change.
Okay. If you want to be a social media influencer, what would it take for someone to be successful in this field?
I feel like you should never get complacent. And that you should stay relentlessly consistent, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's always somebody else coming. You know what I mean? Like, there's always somebody behind you coming. And so, you know, if you're posting, you know, a couple videos a week, and then all of a sudden for 2 weeks you don't post anything, somebody else is coming. You know what I mean?
You know, because I look at some of, other than you post a lot, which is great because you have constant, you know, content. But some of these people who have been working before you don't have any. Like they'll go weeks or even months.
Right. One of my friends, his name is Dami. He has 500,000 followers on Instagram, and he's been doing this for 4 years. Like it took him a long time. And you know, I remember when he was first starting, and he would tell me, he would be like, Jessica, like, his own friends would be like, why are you, remember how I told you, I was like, well, you posting too much? Like, they would unfollow him.
What?
But, yeah, like, people will do that. People who know you won't support you until they see other people supporting you. And then they're like, oh, I know her. That's Jessica. I know her. Right. So, but, anyway, but now that he's at 500,000, you know, naturally for him, he's not just sticking to the Instagram comedy. He's
doing other things.
Yeah, he's hosting. He's having his own comedy show. Right. Okay. So even if he's not on Instagram constantly, he's constantly out there. So his followers are still reaching out to him or still interacting with him in different ways.
So
you know?
in the beginning, it's more
being
your own content, being your own kind of thing until you branch out.
Right, exactly. But even then, I mean, there's people like, look at, what's her name? Watch Jazzy, I think. She's about to be on the 50 Cent show. You know, she's still like they're filming and she's still posting constantly. You know what I mean? So it's all about, you know, how you feel. I think for me, I feel like I'm just always gonna be somebody who will post just because I like it. I've always loved social media. I've always loved social media. I like that it's my outlet because, like I said, I'm a loner. But if you put me alone with a camera, with a phone,
I've seen it.
You like,
and I'm like, oh, she's doing her thing.
Right. Like, how many times were we like recording and like I'm asleep, and all of a sudden I'm pulling out my phone. So yeah, we in the studio. You know what I mean? Like,
you turn it on.
Right. It's like I like it. It's something that I like, and so. I feel that I'll always be somebody who will be consistent with that, and for me, it's gonna be so beautiful to look back a couple years from now and be like, yo, like these people grew with me and watched me come from 3,000 followers to 52K to 1 million. You know what I mean? Like these people watched me literally do this, and now they're seeing me in other, you know, realms of my career, and it's mostly because of these people, you know what I mean, that we're interested, you know what I mean, because a lot of these networks and things, you may be awesome, but now it's all about, well, do other people think you're awesome? That's just the name of the game now, you know what I mean? And so I feel like I'll always do that. I'll always keep that relationship open with the people who, I don't like to call them fans or anything, I like to call them my Insta friends. I say my Insta friends all the time. Okay. So, you know, my Insta friends, my Facebook friends, like, I'm always going to do that with them.
So for your Insta friends, what should they keep an eye out for? What's coming next? What's on the horizon?
Well, I landed something really big last week, but I'm still waiting on the paperwork, so I can't say anything.
I feel like I have an idea.
But they will definitely see me on a major network pretty soon, and I feel like, and I'll be able to, you know, do what I'm doing on social media, but also I'll be able to sit in the interview chair too, which is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to interview my faves. I've always wanted to talk about like pop news and all that. Yeah. So it's gonna be wonderful that I'm doing this at a network that has seen my stuff, and they're like, yo, we want you to bring your Haitian flair. You know what I mean? Like, I just want my Insta friends and my Facebook friends and my internet friends, all those people to know that what I'm doing on Instagram is not just for Instagram. Like, I'm gonna do that everywhere I go. Like, people will know I'm a Haitian. People will know that I can speak Creole, that I just wanna do that for my people. You know what I mean? I wanna have that Caribbean pride, and I feel like that's gonna make me stand out.
It does make you stand out.
It just makes me stand out because I'm proud of it. And it's so funny because I get all these comments all the time like, I used to be so ashamed. And I'm like, girl, why, girl?
I've heard that a lot.
I'm like, girl, why?
Because people say horrible
They
things,
do, and they do, but it's like, girl, why? You know, maybe it's because, like, my mom always told me, like, girl, you are special. Do you know where you come from? Yeah. And do you know we were the first independent? Like, she would tell me all the time, 1804, we were the first black. Like, she would tell all the time. And so I want everybody to know, like, I am from the 1804 land, you know what I mean? And y'all gonna hear me speak Creole, y'all gonna hear this, and I wanna do it on a big stage, in a big way, so that everybody can hear me. You know, people back in Haiti can hear me, and the little Haitian girls and little Haitian boys know that they can follow their dream too, and one day that they can make it too, you know what I mean? So I feel like they should be on the lookout for that. Look out for me. In a big way, on a big screen, on a big network, pretty soon. Scale. I'll be able to say it soon. Can't say it yet.
Okay. Well, we will stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Runs wherever I could sing, wherever somebody would listen. And eventually that turned into me singing in studios, and you know, I would work at the Hit Factory, I would work at Circle House, which were like two very popular studios in Miami. So I worked with a lot of Miami artists, and I even have had like two or three songs on the radio in Miami. So I feel like that was kind of my start. But as time went by, it just wasn't going the way I wanted it to. Yeah. A lot of people just don't understand that how hard it is to make it. So like for a couple months, I just kept going back and forth. And then I want to say summer of last year, 2016, I graduated school, and I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going to New York. And so that's how I got here. And I got here, and it's been rough. It hasn't been a Cinderella story.
That's New York for you.
Yeah, like New York is definitely a whole other world. But I want to say, as stressful as it has been for me, these videos are how that was born. Like, it was born out of stress, out of like me trying to it. But then a couple weeks went by, I didn't hear anything, and then I got a call saying, hey, we want you to be a Wild 'N Out girl. And it wasn't really what I wanted, but I was like, I'll take it. And I did that. And so I feel like that was like the start of me being really serious about like, just serious about seeing what else I could do in entertainment. I was on season 8, I was a Wild 'N Out girl. I was in 4 or 5 episodes, I want to say. And, you know, after I did Wild 'N Out, it was filmed in LA. I went back to Miami. I was like, man, I really don't want to be here anymore. But I didn't know if I wanted to come to New York or LA.
Welcome to And All That Jazz with Dana. I'm your host, Dana, and I am here with Jessie Woo. She is the first lady of Haitian culture on Instagram. She is. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you
for sitting with me.
Thanks.
I want to know how you got your start in entertainment.
Well, how did I get my start in entertainment? Well, you know, I'm originally from Miami, and you know this, I've told you this. I'm originally from Miami, and in Miami, I started off singing. I would sing at school, I would sing at talent shows, I would sing in bathrooms, in the music industry. You know what I mean? Like, people think just because you can sing, you should automatically be like a big star already, and it doesn't always, you know, work out that way.
Yeah.
So as time went by, it just really wasn't going the way I planned, and 2015, I want to say fall 2015, I got a like random call to go audition for Wild 'N Out. And so I went to audition for Wild 'N Out, and when I auditioned, I told jokes. So, because I wanted to have a speaking role. I wanted to say like a couple jokes. I wanted to play the games that they play.
Yeah.
And I made Nick Cannon laugh, and I was like, oh my gosh, like he laughed. I felt so good about it.